Welcome to Admire, the Art of Business, hosted by Admire Itai Myra, also known as Ziva. In these episodes, we intend to showcase the immigrant communities, people who are doing fantastic work in their varying areas of expertise, whether that be healthcare, big corporates, philanthropy, entertainment, some community work, and other sectors. We have many unique individuals doing incredible work out there in their respective communities. However, we don't hear much about their achievements. Therefore, it is time to shed light on their success stories. We want to bring them to the table, speak to them about their career progression from where they started to where they are now, discuss the challenges they faced and the strategies they employed to overcome them in order to showcase the great work of immigrants in Australia and beyond. Our goal is to inspire the youngsters and people who have personal goals, who may think that they don't possess what it takes to achieve those goals. However, after seeing someone else achieve, strive, and overcome on their way to success, they will believe it's possible for them. You can do it. All that you need is to focus, the attention, a little inspiration, and hard work goes a long way.
Viewers, welcome once again to Admire the Art of Business. Your host is here, Admire Itai Myra, also known as Tio. Today I've got a gentleman called Phibeon Muranganwa. Phibeon founded a human services organization called Phibeon Healthcare Service in 2018. Phibeon is one of the few people who started to do business in the disability sector after the introduction of the National Disability Insurance Scheme. He grew the business from 2018 to date, and right now he employs just under 200 people, and he operates across 4 states. He is a director and founding member in various entities. Viewers, please help me welcome Phibeon Muranganwa. Phibeon, welcome, man.
Thank you very much. That was very kind of you with that introduction.
I think these things are factual. Don't you think so?
I think so, to some extent.
Yeah. We're going to nut it down and see, get it down and see how it is. So tell me, who is Phibeon?
Phibeon is a young man.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Who was born and bred in Mavuku in Zimbabwe, Harare, Zimbabwe. Yeah, so I was born in 1973 in Harare, grew up in Harare, got my primary and secondary education in Harare, and yeah.
Oh, nice. So they are the other boys, eh?
Yes. So I'm a family man, married, father of 4 kids. So yeah.
Oh, beautiful. That's good. And do you think the family helps you to propel all these things that we just spoke about just now?
Yes. Without family, I can't say that I would be where I am today. So family plays a great deal in my career and business career as well.
That's good to hear that. Can you briefly just elaborate to us your professional history? Take us back from Harare, okay? The guy in Mapupu going to the city. What was happening in there professionally?
Yeah, so I finished my education in Mavuku. It was Tafara High School in Mavuku area. We call it Mavuku, but it was Tafara High. Mavuku is more popular than Tafara, yeah. But I was educated at Tafara High School. Then professional experience in terms of work-wise, I had this interest of shipping industry because there was a guy who I was related to. I don't know whether I should mention a name, but working in the shipping industry. So I really like I admire the way he was, doing business and all those kind of things. So I said, I want to be like him. So I found a course which was in somewhere in Harare there. I did a shipping course, but I didn't have a job. So I managed to get a job, and not of what I have learned, but it was something different, which was sort of a low paying job or a low grade job, which was sort of starting I think that time they used to call them cargo handlers.
So you did a course, then you became a cargo handler.
Cargo handler, which has nothing to do with the course. So the course which I did was a shipping course, which was import and export procedures and all the other things. But I managed to get a job as a cargo handler, which was basically a laborer.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Then from there, where did you go as well after that?
So after that, I was working for this company called Burlington Air Express. So I said, okay, here I am. It's a big company. It's an international company. I looked around and said, where do I want to be? I said, okay, I want to be at this level. So I'm going to give myself the next 2 years. So what did I do? I enrolled myself. This I paid, not the business or not the company paid for me. I paid for some exports course, which was being conducted by Air Zimbabwe. So it was elemental cargo handling, advanced cargo handling, and dangerous goods. So people who are in this industry, they're familiar with those courses.
Okay.
So this was just preparing myself that, okay, if anything happens or any position arises, I'm ready.
You're ready.
Yeah. So within a couple of months, there was a position in the office, exports clerk. I positioned myself. Here I am, and I got that position. So, yeah.
Beautiful. So when you started being a cargo handler, were you very intentional about you looking at, okay, I want to be there, and how do I get there? Were you very intentional about it, or it just happened subconsciously?
I think we can say I was intentional that, okay, I knew where I want to be, but I knew that this is not my destiny. I don't want to be a cargo handler the whole of my life or the rest of my life. So what do I need to do? I need to educate myself. I need to be at this position. So I make sure that I strategically position myself, be ready for that time where if anything happens, I'm ready. Yeah.
How was the transition being a cargo handler, then now you're coming to be a clerk? You're working in the office, you're coming from, getting the things happening, being, and now you're an office guy.
Yeah, to be honest, the change or the transition wasn't easy because people knew you from back that, oh, you are a cargo handler. Now you are giving instructions. Now you are a different person. So, for example, I was working with a driver. So I was reporting to a driver. Now the drivers are reporting to me. So that transition, it took time for people to sort of accept. But you just have to be firm, and then people would know that, okay, this is where we are going now. This is what is happening now. Yeah.
Did that help you in terms of leadership skills in there? Because you're jumping one role from being a driver, then you are jumping to the next one. Then you have to manage these guys.
Yeah, I learned from my boss in that time that, okay, you need to understand that, you didn't come here to make friends. I took that on board for the rest of my career that, okay, we are here to work. We're not here to make friends. So at the end of the day, I have to make sure that things are done properly. Whether we, at lunch, we have lunch together with the boys, but when we come to work, it's not friendship. So that helps a lot to make sure that, we're doing the right things.
That's quite interesting. We're not here to make friends. We are here to work.
Exactly. So we can be friends after work. There's nothing. There's no problem with that.
Yeah.
But when we are at work, let's
Just
work.
work.
Yeah, let's work.
Okay. All right. So you became a clerk, and after that, did you progress further as well?
So within that same organization, I did a few studies as well. Then there was a senior position which arose. I became a supervisor in the department. And then I became an assistant manager in the department there. When my immediate boss went on leave, when I was the supervisor, then the director saw the potential and said, okay, we're going to have an assistant manager here. So, yeah, it was something which, they see through hard work, and then I was given that position. So it was still within that same organization, but during that period as well, there was another position. So I moved a little bit from shipping. So I went to World Food Program, worked for a couple of months in there. Then I went back to shipping. There was a company which was it was a fertilizer company.
ZFC?
Not ZFC, Omnia Fertilizer.
Omnia, yeah, I remember that.
Omnia Fertilizer. So this was a South African-based fertilizer company. So they used to import fertilizer from South Africa and from other countries. We used to import urea from Russia and all these other countries. So I joined there as a shipping administrator as well. So through hard work, I became the shipping manager. When the shipping manager left, so they said, okay, there was a position. Then they saw that I was capable to lead the department. So I was the shipping manager at that time there. So it was different from where I was, whereby I was just concentrating on exports. But now in this company, I was concentrating on imports and exports. Yeah, so that was sort of my career in Zim before I came to Australia.
Look, I wouldn't blame the bosses that we had then. If this is the way you're dressing then, they have no choice actually.
So this dressing, I think it comes from humble beginnings. As I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, so most people knows us as boys the Masutu.
I love that. Okay. So even up to now, you still go to Jehovah's Witness?
Yes, still go to Jehovah's Witness. Yeah.
That's good. So being a shipping manager, then was that the last job that you had in Zimbabwe?
Before it was just a tricky situation. When we got the visas to come here, before that I'd applied for another job with a chemical company. I think it was called Rickett Ben Kaiser. This was, chemical.
I remember that.
Ben Kaiser in Workington there. They wanted a group exports manager for the regional. So I'd got that position. So I had to decide whether to come with the family here or to take the position. Yeah, that was a tough call, but I decided to come with the family. Then
Well, that's an international organization,
It is, it is a big company. It is a big one. So the portfolio was to look after the southern part of Africa. So it was, I think, Botswana, Zambia, Malawi, all those exports. Yeah.
Wow, that's quite an experience. So we'll take you back with your shipping manager. You're doing imports and exports, right? So were you also dealing with the government departments and the tax department in there?
Yes, actually, the dealing with the government department got me the position as the manager with Omnia Fertilizer, because there were some strategic changes which I did, which saved the company a lot of money. So actually, what happened that time is my boss went on leave. When he came back, I had introduced some changes. So the director said that, okay, now we're going to have 2 assistant shipping managers. So he was brought to, I think that's why people are not supposed to go on leave. So he was brought back to assistant shipping manager, and I was elevated to a shipping manager, assistant shipping manager as well. So we had 2 shipping managers. Then he, unfortunately, ended up leaving. Then,
How did he handle the relationship when this other guy came back and you were promoted? How did he handle that relationship?
I think it was a mutual understanding, because to be honest, I give a lot of thanks to the guy, because he was the one who brought me to this organization. He took me from Bellington Express. We used to work together there, and he moved to this company. There was no hard feelings. It was, some strategic moves for the business, and then that was that. But he ended up finding some other great opportunities as well. So it was a win-win situation.
Okay. Was it still the Bellington Express, or was it a different company?
No, this was a different company. This was the Omnia Fertilizer, where we were both shipping managers there, assistant shipping managers.
Okay. All right, beautiful. So after that, that's when you migrated to Australia.
That's when I came to Australia.
Exciting.
Across all the oceans to come to Australia, yes.
Wow.
But as exciting as it was not easy.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
not easy. I think a lot of people will say the same thing, that coming here, from what we were working before, or from the careers which we had before, and coming to a new or a different country, and to restart again or reestablish ourselves is not something which is easy. um, and I went through the same. I first of all, we arrived in Tasmania. That's where we got our visas to go to Tasmania, and I couldn't get a job. That time I was working in the not in the factory. I was working in the farm,
Oh,
picking
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
picking tomatoes and pruning plants. Because in Tasmania, I don't know, some people who are familiar with Tasmania, there isn't much industries there, or plants or productions there. So, yeah, we were in Hobart, and yeah, I was working in one of the farms around there, so picking up tomatoes. And but I was applying for jobs. I was getting offers for the same job, which I it's not really same, but in the same industry in Sydney. Then I spoke to the missus and said, okay, what do we do? And she was quite accommodative. And then, okay, we moved to Sydney.
But before we get there, I
Mm.
want to go back of picking up the cherry tomatoes. I love to hear that. You're
Yes.
getting offered like a group shipping manager in Zimbabwe, right? And you're taking your options and say, you know what, I'm going to Australia. How was the feeling? And you're thinking, okay, this job for a international organization, I'm coming to Australia, I'm working the farms.
Yes.
How did you feel? How in terms of you as an individual, what were the emotions? What were you thinking during this moment in time?
To be honest, there was some times where I thought of going back to Zim, because things were not adding up. Imagine from that level and coming to this level, it was something which was a huge transition. But yeah, we sort of endured, and we sort of worked. And yeah.
Wow. But then you are in the farms. Because if you take your baby, a handler, you're looking like, okay, next 2 years, I want to be there. I want to be the shipping manager or whatever you were looking at, right? And you did that. Did you have the mindset whereby you're picking tomatoes, I want to be the supervisor at the farm? Did you not think about that?
Unfortunately, in this case, no, because I was getting offers of my role in this industry there, so my mind was not to stay in this. Yeah, I don't know if there was no offers. Maybe I was gonna come up with something, but to be honest, my mind was to move to somewhere else. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now you move to Sydney. Okay. Then you're getting all these offers coming up, flying left, right, and center. Phibeon, you're the shipping manager. You know this, you know that. Let's sit down. How did that happen? And talk to us about that.
Yeah. So yeah, we moved to Sydney. I think it was end of 2007.
Yeah.
I got an interview with DB Schenker, which was one of the companies I worked for in Zim.
Okay.
So I put in my resume, they went through it, and said, I've got a lot of experience. So they wanted a customer service person who had an understanding of both imports and exports, which was me.
Wow. Now the experience is taking in now.
Exactly. So they gave me not a very senior position, but it was, sort of quite up there. They wanted, they gave me, I was looking after key clients.
Okay.
So those clients which sort of make the business tick, so a certain amount of value upwards. That's what they gave me, a group of companies. Okay, you are the key customer person for these companies. So I was looking after those group of companies, sort of advising them about their imports and exports. So I was in between. So there was the business development team, then the customer service, then the operations.
Okay. And what do you think DB Schenker saw in you that made them see, you know what, let's give you the key clients in there? Because those key clients that make or break the organization, right?
Exactly, I think so. I think given the track record and the resume of the experience which I had, because I think we're talking of more than 10 years of in experience in shipping industry, of both imports and exports, and also the which is backed with also papers as well. So it's something which they so that I think we after the interview, and also it proved that I worked for them for more than 2 years and I had to leave on my own accord as well.
Okay. But you see, a lot of migrants, they come in here and they say, you know what, the experience that they got overseas is not recognized locally. How did you manage to bridge that gap?
I'm not sure, depending on the industry, but to be honest, with the field which I was working in Zimbabwe, which is sort of an international, those who are familiar with the shipping industry, we use the IATA codes, we use the tariff handbooks, which are international recognized. So it's a matter of just getting the opportunity, which I got that opportunity and I proved them that I can do the job here. So it's a matter of someone giving you the opportunity. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations for that. That's good. All right. So now you are there. You are the key accounts officer there. How was the transition like? Is it the same things that you used in Zimbabwe in terms of principles, the things that you mentioned right now? Are they the same things over here as well?
There is it's slightly different the way we do things, or the way we used to clear cargo in Zimbabwe and the way they clear cargo here in Australia. It's a little bit different, but like I said, that the key principles are the same, whereby we're using the sort of the same manuals. So the basic information is the same, whether things are coming from China or they're coming from whichever country they're coming from. It's a key same codes which we use. So that made it easier for me to transition into the position.
Okay. So this is a guy from Tafara. He's sitting in Sydney with the job that he used to do in Harare, right? Okay. So tell me in transition. Now you're on this job. How long did you stay at this job?
So yeah, I said I stayed there for 2 years, but it's quite interesting because I'm still living in Penrith that time in Penrith, and I had to travel to Mascot. So going to Mascot every day and coming back was something which was very taxing. It's a long distance. If either way, whether you want to use train or drive,
Same thing.
it's the same thing. So then I end up finding something to do too, because the time whereby if I'm driving, it would took me about 2-3 hours coming back home. So if I finish at 5, I'll be home at 7 because of the traffic, or 6:30 or whatever. Yeah. So I thought, what should I do? Then I said, I find something else to do instead of being stuck in traffic. I said, let me get myself busy.
Okay, well, that's quite innovative. So you got yourself busy. What did you start to do after that?
You will not believe this.
You're a man who sets goals, probably you're going to be a supervisor. What was happening in there?
So I would go to work, dress nicely. So I got a job at Bunnings warehouse as what they call them, packers.
Packers? Yeah.
I think there's another word.
Overnight packers?
Night. I don't think it's overnight packers, but if I think of it, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing. So I would start at Bunnings at 5:30. There was Bunnings in Randwick. So from Mascot to Randwick is not very far.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
I think it's called Night Fillers or something like that.
Okay.
So I would start at 5 to 10 doing that. So I was working as a shelf packer. In Bunnings. So I would have my red t-shirt, jeans, and some safety shoes. in the back of the car. Yeah, when I finished, change, put my Bunnings apron.
Yes, good one. I love that. Okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
I did that for almost 2 years. So yeah, because I was, I thought, okay, I'm stuck in traffic. So by the time I finished at 10 o'clock, it would take me maybe less than 45 minutes to drive home because there is no traffic.
Yeah,
But it was not easy. It was, yeah, a lot of work because I was supposed to be at work at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock the following morning. So, yeah. Mm,
that's amazing. So you do this like 5 days a week,
5 days a week, yes.
both jobs.
Yeah, 2 jobs. So in 8 hours, then another sort of 4 or 5 hours again
Oh, no,
at
Bunnings.
at Bunnings, yes.
Wow, wow. So did you explain to Bunnings that I'm coming from clearing and authorizing this and that, then I'm coming to this?
No, not really.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just see me in my, my
Yeah.
Bunnings uniform,
And that's it.
doing what needs to be done. That's it. After work,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow, that's very interesting. Oh, so you stayed at your shipping job in Bunnings for 2 years.
Yes,
Okay. And you left the job
I left the job
at your own accord, you said?
at my own accord. So the main reason why I left was the flexibility. We had a small child at that time, so this job was not giving me that flexibility because madam had to go to work,
Mm.
and we had small kids to look after. So I had to make a few changes, or we had to make a few changes. So I learned a new profession.
New profession. All right. Just talk about it.
Yes, that was 2009.
2009. Okay. Yeah.
2009. I did a course in disability. I think it was a 3 months course in disability or aged care. Then, yeah, and I got a job and I said goodbye to those guys. Actually, I hang on to Bunnings.
Oh, did you?
Yes, in Penrith.
So you got transferred to
To
Penrith?
Penrith.
Okay.
So that was my backup plan. That okay, while I'm looking for another job, I still have Bunnings. So I was working at Bunnings South Penrith for some time as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
So yeah, so I pushed Bunnings. I'm not sure for how long, but yeah, I was working at Bunnings South Penrith, doing the same thing, while I was looking for a job in disability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is a cornerstone to look at your career going forward. What made you to choose being a disability support worker at that moment in time?
Yeah, so that flexibility, I think that was something which we really valued a lot there, because we've got the small kids and family there. So I thought, okay, yeah, this is, we trading the white shirt to something else. But at the end of the day, we had to do what we had to do. Family comes first, so we had to make sacrifices.
Yeah.
So that was the moment of change.
Yeah.
Mm.
But there are a couple of options there. There's AI and the disability support worker. You can go concreting, and they're all flexible. Why disability support worker?
So the reason why disability was there was night shift and weekends. So that's where I said, okay, which job can give me that flexibility where I can work at night or weekends? So this one came to be the best option at that time. Yeah.
Okay. So how long did you work as a disability support worker?
I think I'm still working as a disability.
Absolutely, isn't it?
I'm still working as a disability support worker. Yeah, so I worked for a number of companies. You know how people have one or two jobs.
Mhm.
So I was working for a number of companies. That's when I dropped Bunnings.
Okay.
So I would say that my day would be a minimum of 12 hours,
Okay.
depending on the other, shifts at home that how what, yeah. But basically, I would, whether it was night and morning or it was more afternoon and night, it was something whereby we sort of, flexibility in there.
Okay, all right. So you work as a support worker. If you answer that, for how many years?
For 14 years.
14 years.
For 14 years.
That's immense experience.
For 14 years, yes.
Wow.
Mm.
But I'm seeing a trend here. Okay, at the shipping company, you're looking at the next 2 years. I want to be there, right? Then you also go at being a shipping manager. You also want to grow. You go to Tasmania. You're thinking, I still want to grow. But now you're being a disability support worker. Did that mindset come back to you again of saying, you know what, I want to be there?
Yes. During that moment of time, I said, okay, how can I grow from this position? Then I did a few courses which are different. Then I end up having another job at NDIS as a local area coordinator.
Wow, Phibeon, you know what? Now you're getting to catching on. Let's go back to the viewers. Viewers, we're going to be taking a short break right now and we'll come back to you very soon. Thank you very much. Viewers, welcome back to Admire the Art of Business. Today we're having a discussion with Phibeon Muranganwa, the gentleman who founded Human Services Organization in 2018, grew the business now employing nearly 200 staff and servicing 4 states, director and founding member from in other various entities. Phibeon, we discussed a lot of things. Now you're twisting the gear. You're telling me that you worked for NDIS being a lark, is that right?
Yes. So that was 2017.
Okay.
That was 2017 now. And I was still doing disability work as well, night shift. So I would go to the office, NDIS office, work there, and then, I would pick up maybe Friday night, Saturday night as a disability support worker.
Wow. So do you think your experience, 14 years being a support worker, did that help you working as a local area coordinator?
Yes, that gave me a good head start in terms of understanding the needs of people with disability. Yes, so I would say yes, it did.
Okay. And what were you doing as a local area coordinator? Just in brief.
Among other things, what I would sort of take away would be building plans, for people with disability. So I would say we were among the first people to build the first plans for the disability support for the people with disability. So yeah, I would say that was one of the highlights what we were doing. Yeah.
Wow, that's a big thing. So how long did you work as a local area coordinator?
It's quite interesting because there I did not stay much.
Okay. Not 14 years?
No, unfortunately, I didn't need to stay there for 14 years. I'd already mastered what was happening, and I thank God for giving me the vision that, okay, I had the vision to see that, okay, this is where these things is going. So that's where I realized that I think I will be better off on the other side of the counter. So I only worked there for a year. Then I started, so to 2018, then that's when I started the business, my own business.
So 2018, that's when you started Phibeon Healthcare Services?
Yes.
What does Phibeon mean?
Very good question.
What does it mean?
I think I've missed another part there.
Yeah.
So when I was doing support work, when I left to Mascot, I had a small courier company. So I had a van. I was introduced to this organization, a printing company with a very good friend of mine. So picking up empty cartridges.
Okay.
So I had a courier company called Phil Terry Couriers. So Phil and Terry are the names of the boys. So my first son is called Tinashe Philip, and the other one is called, or the second one is called Terence Takudzwa. So I just combined the two names of the boys Phil and Terry, so we came up with the name of Phil Terry Couriers. So when I started the disability services, I didn't need to look far for the name.
The name was there already.
The name was there. It was just to change the other part. Instead of couriers, now we have got the health care services.
Okay, okay,
So that's where Phil Terry come from.
okay. You told me that you looked at when you were being a local area coordinator. It was great for you to change the side of the counter, right? What were the key moments? What really made you to think that? If you want to go back in time.
So to be honest, when I was working there, I thought I would be more effective if I provide the services. Of course, I was helping to build plans, but I felt I was a bit limited to the area which I was supposed to be working in that moment in time. We were given areas that, okay, you look after this area, you look after this area. So I thought, okay, but I need to do more. Okay, what should I do? That's when I said, okay, if I, with my knowledge, I go on this other side of the counter, I can help a lot of people.
So 14 years being a disability support worker, knowing what happens on the ground, 1 year building the plans, then now you're switching the thing altogether.
Exactly.
Wow. That's so good. So this is 2018, right?
Yes.
How was it when you started?
It was not easy. I still maintain the support work.
The support work, yeah.
So I would go night shift to work, then come back during the day and work on the business.
But why did you have to go? Because now you're a businessman. You're still doing night shift. What was happening in there? Why did you do that?
There's two things.
Okay.
One, the love of the job. I care of the people, the care that I give to these people. I sort of, I become part of the family, because with some of the family, I've been working with them since 2009, so nearly 15 years now. So you become part of the family. So I still give them support, and also wanted to finance the business because we didn't have to get a loan. My wife was working on the other side, going to work and coming back to the business. So that was the advantage there, that, okay, we still maintain that steady income there, and also the one which I was bringing from the disability support work was sort of to finance business, whereby you need the advertising material, you need to build the websites, you need all those things. So that time it was not easy.
We see your trend. Now you're starting a small business. Were you again looking at, like, in the next 2 years I want to be there?
To be honest, with this one, it just happened. It happened to grow so spontaneous, but there is some contributing factors which we sort of, which were there. It's not by miracle or anything. It was sort of, yes, we want to be there, but how do we get there? We had to employ some tactics in there.
Okay, interesting, some tactics, okay. We also, if you look back, you started when you were progressing with your careers. You did a bit of education here and there. So when you started the business, working in the business, did that also tactic work, like whereby you upskilling yourself in terms of training?
Definitely. The world which we are living in, things are, it's moving so quickly. So I always use this expression that if you're not careful, events will overtake you. So yes, there was some upskilling which was needed in there. Some courses which were related to the business in terms of health service management and other things which we had to go through, and leadership courses as well, governance courses which we have to do in order to provide quality service and also to steer the business in the right direction.
Are you currently studying?
Yes.
What are you studying? This is quite of interest,
I'm studying leadership, masters in leadership. Yeah.
Okay, is that helping the business?
Yes, it does help a lot because there are things which you go through or you come across in the business, and then you look at the lectures and all those things. Then, or you say, "Oh, this is what was that." Then you go back to the lecture and say, "Oh, how do we, you know, handle this situation?" So it's sort of hands on, whereby you working and you studying, and then that sort of on time information which will be provided, or guidance. Mm.
But how do you balance that? You are working here, you've got a business, you studying, you've got a family at the same time.
Yes, it's a good question there. I think it's just a matter of balancing time. We need to sacrifice some of the things, but yeah, we make sure that we give family enough time. We work and we study, and also I haven't been sort of biting more than what I can chew. So I've been sort of one unit per semester, which is not very very hard to do. So it gives me enough time to, yeah. So I just finished the graduate certificate. Now I'm going to the graduate diploma, and then so sort of yeah. So I'm taking time. I'm not Thank you.
But the good thing is, you are applying what you're learning.
Exactly.
It's
That's
true.
true.
Yeah. When we initially, when I was introducing to you to the viewers, we said to you, your companies now are employing just under 200 people. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
How many states are you servicing?
We are in 4 states.
4 states. Okay.
So we have got New South Wales.
Okay.
We've got Melbourne.
All right.
Then Tasmania. Then Brisbane or Queensland.
Okay. So you went back again to Tasmania.
I went to Tasmania.
Are you trying to create more jobs there so that people,
Exactly. I know that there is need for more jobs. So Tasmania, we are in Tasmania as well, trying to create employment in Tasmania. Yeah. So across all these states, we have got just under 200 staff. Yeah.
But managing a business, across 4 states and everything else, how is it like in terms of structure? In terms of your office, and do you want to talk us more about that?
Yeah, to be honest, it's something whereby I can't sort of, beat my chest and say that I'm the one who is. I had to, have key people in the right positions. So all these states are supported from the head office, which is in Penrith. So we have the HR team, which is based in Penrith. We have got the payroll team, is based in Penrith for all these entities. Then we have got the accounts, and we've got the business development team as well, and also the rostering team is also based in here. So all it happens here in Penrith.
Wow. So Penrith is the hub, servicing all these
Yes.
states.
Yes, all these states and entities.
And entities as well.
And
When you say entities, okay, and different, service industries, do you want to break it down for us in there, please?
Maybe I'll just briefly break it down for you. So we have a few entities. So we have Phibeon, which is sort of the mother or the mothership or the first company, or most people know us as Phibeon.
Okay.
But we have got other organizations which are under Phibeon. We have got a child protection service. We've got consumable business. And we've got also an RTO, which is a registered training organization as well. And we have got a not-for-profit as well. So I don't know where I need to take the names, or just say now for another interview.
That's all right. We can, because we're going to have another follow-up interview as we grow.
Maybe you can talk more about the entities in the other interview. But yeah, basically, so those are the and did I mention the consulting?
No, you did not.
Okay, so we have the consulting. So it's sort of, helping small businesses. So I've got a small consulting business as well, because some people, they want to see how did we do it? How can we be there? Or they sort of, said, okay, we come, we sit down, I help. a few small companies starting up as well. And so that's the consulting company, and we've got another not-for-profit whereby we're using that vehicle to give back to the community as well.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I know you have explained this a little bit. What are the things that you think made your business to grow?
I think what made us to grow so spontaneously was to have the right people in the right positions.
Okay.
So that helps as well. And also to be humble, to accept that I don't know everything. That's a very important factor which we need to have there. We need to be humble so that, okay, who can help me to do this? Who is the right person for this? Yes, some people knows everything, but I don't know everything. Yes. That's another point which we need there.
Wow. Phibeon, this is great. It's been a pleasure having a chat with you. Do you have any encouraging words to the viewers, people who really look to what you're doing, what you've achieved? Any encouraging words for them?
I would say, like the word, I'll borrow the word from you, humility and humbleness. And in some Shona circle, they use the word vuma kupusa or vuma kupusiswa. If you look at where I started from, I'm just talking about myself. I started as a cargo handler, but I had the qualification. But I was, cargo handler that time is basically loading trucks.
Yeah, exactly.
We were taking cargo from the airline, putting in the truck, and deliver to the client. But I never said no. I'm waiting for the right job. I said no. The right job I'll get to it while I'm here. So that humbleness, which is needed, then have that vision that, okay, I want to get there, then start working on that from where. Because I see most of the young people these days say, oh, no, I can't do this. I can't do disability work. But this disability work, that's where we came from. That's got us to where we are today.
And there's a lot of hard work in there for you, because it looks like you've been doing one job to the next. I mean, there's a double job every other time, isn't it?
Yeah, that's hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot of hard work which we put in there. And it pays at the end of the day. It pays. Yeah.
Beautiful. Humility. Vuma kupusiswa. Admire the art of business. Thank you very much. And Phibeon Muranganwa, you can check him up on his LinkedIn. He's always there as Phibeon Muranganwa. The Art of Business, YouTube, Admire Itai Myra. You can check me on the LinkedIn as well, Admire Itai Myra. Thank you very much for watching this episode. You have a lovely day. Thank you.